Hello and welcome to Go Explore Greece. I'm Ian and we kick off this evening's walk right here in the middle of Syntagma Square. On the way I'm going to show you loads of different things that you would probably otherwise miss, including the busiest shopping street in Athens, Ermou Street, a 1,000-year-old church slap bang in the middle of it, ancient sites and some of the best places to eat and drink. So, go look for your best toga, tie up your sandals, and let's go explore Greece.
Just before we begin, I want to show you 3 5-star hotels overlooking this square. On the left, that's the NJV Athens Plaza. It's the baby of the 3, having opened in 1980, and it's got some stunning views of the Acropolis. Second one, in the middle, that's the King George, completed in 1930, and it sort of combines old world elegance and charm with modern luxury. And some of the rooms, they've even got a panoramic view of the Acropolis. And last but by no means least, on the right there, that's the Hotel Grand Britannia. It's actually celebrating its 150th anniversary this year, and it's probably got the best views of the Acropolis of all. Okay, let's begin our walk. This, everyone, is Syntagma Square, or Constitution Square to the locals, simply because the word Syntagma means constitution, and it commemorates the constitution that King Otto was forced to grant to the people after a military uprising in 1843. That little fountain in front of us, well, that's a very popular meeting place, both for locals and for tourists. And it's also quite a good place for a quick photo or selfie. This square itself has a lot of history. It's not just a meeting place though, it's a place for celebration and also demonstration. Almost every important date and festival throughout the year, you'll find this place is full of people celebrating in style, with music, dancing, and all sorts of entertainment. But it's also the place where people come to protest, demonstrate, and march, airing their grievances with the government. Now I've got to show you this, as it's one of the best touristy things to do when you're here. Honestly, this is the very spot to board the Athens Happy Train. It doesn't run in the evening or night, but during the day it runs about every 30 to 40 minutes. It's about €5 for adults and I think 3 for kids, and it lasts around about 40 minutes. And you'll get to see quite a few places, such as the Hellenic Parliament, Arch of Hadrian, Temple of Olympian Zeus, Panathenaic Stadium, and you'll even go through Plaka. It really is a bit of a laugh, and you'll get to be like a proper tourist. Now, this in my opinion is one of the best 4-star hotels in Athens. First of all, it's right in the heart of the city, and you're within walking distance of so many of the top things to see. Secondly, the rooms are amazing, and some of them have fantastic views over Athens, including the Acropolis. And third, it's also got one of the best rooftop bars and restaurants, and again with some of the best views of Athens, including the Acropolis. Let me tell you a little bit about the street we're on right now. It's called Ermou Street, and it's named after the Greek god Hermes. It was built around 1833, is about 1.5 kilometers long, and is the 14th most expensive street in the entire world. I've put a link in the description to a video I made recently of the main carnival and festival coming down this street on the way to Monastiraki Square, where we're going a little bit later. It's also got one of the oldest churches in Athens, slap bang in the middle of the street, and we'll have a quick look at that later.
Από τις 6.
Αύριο 7.30, Ευχαριστώ.
Είναι βίας, είναι καπακιά που να πει. Καλή. Παλαιό σήμερα θα παίξουμε την ομάδα του Μάτου. Αλλά έχει θέμα μόνο. Δεν έχει πάντα. Δεν ξέρω τι.
That there we're coming up to, that's the church I mentioned earlier. It's the Church of Kapnikarea, dedicated to the Virgin Mary, goes back to the 11th century, which makes it one of the oldest churches in Athens. Interesting fact, it's built on the ruins of an ancient Greek temple dedicated to a goddess. And inside it's decorated with some fantastic frescoes, and I think some of them even go back to the 17th century. Now, let's take a quick peek at one of the best bakeries in the area, Attica. It really is a must-visit place for those like me with a sweet tooth, or anyone in search of a delicious bite. If you do go, I definitely recommend the spanakopita, it's the spinach pie, tiriopita, that's the cheese pie. Oh, and get there early for the amazing strawberry and custard tart, which sells out very quickly. Just coming up in front of us, on the left and the right, is two of the best places to eat souvlaki and gyro. On the left, well, that's Athens, perhaps the most well-known and certainly the most popular for locals. Then, on the right, that's Adrianou Central, opened in 1879, and it's still famous for practically using the same recipe for all of its souvlaki. So, when you're here in Athens, get yourself down here, get to either of these places. And this is the famous Monastiraki Square. Interesting fact, the name Monastiraki means little monastery, and it's named after the small 10th century church on the right. Now that's the church I mentioned earlier. That's the Church of Panatenassa. Its name translates to Queen of All, referring to the Virgin Mary. Dates back to around the 10th century, and what's really cool about it, the church is actually lower than the ground. Let me show you. It's not on the same level as everything else. That in the distance, in the background there, that's the Acropolis. And right here really is a good place to capture it, or even have a selfie with it. To the right, that white building with the arches there, that's Monastiraki metro station. Opened 2003, obviously it's part of the Athens metro system, and it's a great place to get to and from the airport. But what is really interesting is that during its construction, they uncovered a treasure trove of archaeological finds, from ancient roads, graves, to artifacts dating back thousands of years. And instead of hiding these discoveries, the station was actually designed to showcase them. So when you get your ticket, you wander around, you get on the train, get off the train, you get a free show. That in front of us, just on the left, that's Hadrian's library. Imagine, if you will, if Amazon Kindle had an ancient Greek ancestor. Well, that was somewhat what the library was like. Built in 132 AD by the Emperor Hadrian, the library was a gathering place for anyone who wanted to learn. It was full of hundreds and hundreds of scrolls, and there was also a massive courtyard, galleries and a reading room. And over the centuries, it's also been used as a fortress, shelter, and even a venue for performances. Okay, one of my favourite streets here, Adrianou Street. It's got some fantastic places to eat and drink. I'm going to show you one or two of my favourites. Just on the right there, that's a great little restaurant, Meanders. Food really, really nice. And most nights they've got some live Greek music. Just on there on the right, that's 33. It's an all-day bar and restaurant. It's got some nice views of the Stoa of Attalos, which we'll stop and look at in a moment. And it's another good place to eat.
Τι να ξέρεις, σιγά του.
That there in front of us, that's the Stoa of Attalos, and it's in the ancient Agora of Athens. Think of this place as a giant shopping mall. Honestly, it was built around 150 BC and is a gift to Athens by King Otto II of Pergamon, hence the name, and he wanted to make a really special place for the people of Athens to gather and do their business and shopping in style. Now what you see today was actually brought back to life in the 50s, using the very same kind of materials and techniques they originally used to build the place. Just coming up on the left here, very quickly, that's the entrance you need to the ancient Agora of Athens.
Jeg skulle ha alt lyseblått.
Now let's talk about the Temple of Hepaestus. That there in front of us is the best preserved temple in the world, and it gives us a sneak peek into what a real ancient Greek temple looked like. Dedicated to Hepaestus, he was the Greek god of fire, metalworking and craftsmanship. So imagine a god who could make anything out of metal, and that's Hepaestus for you. And another one of my favourites here is Mistili. Absolutely amazing food and service. It really is nice. And if you're looking for a really good bar, inside or out, with loud music, then I recommend there, Diego. It's also a good place as a meeting point as well.